What's up, guys? I forgot that talking about climate change is one of like the forbidden pillars of conversation to talk about. I wanted to share my experience in class yesterday because it brought up a lot of stuff for me, and I thought it was really funny. Plus, I was excited that I was halfway able to argue with somebody in Spanish. That was pretty exciting for me. But anyway, it's like the most controversial subjects, right? Global warming, vaccines, and the Israeli-Palestine conflict. And I mean, even in the truth movement, those are very divisive topics. But like the global warming thing it's a fucking cult. I'm just gonna call it out like for it is. And it was like, yeah, 97% of scientists, yeah. And then somebody commented in the section saying, yeah, 97% of scientists that are allowed to talk. And then somebody's like, what do you mean they're all allowed to talk? No, they're not, dude. Are you serious? You just think that everything is fair and science isn't politicized? So it's like these people that just think that everybody that is in science is benevolent. People think that just because you're a scientist or in medicine, that you're a wholesome, good person and you're not a fame whore, that you wouldn't tweak results or kiss ass or, manipulate information for a Nobel Prize. There are people in science that are psychopaths as well. People like to put this label on, on actors and artists, as being narcissistic and very self-centered and very greedy and clueless, but there are a lot of scientists that are like that too. So, and usually the real scientists that come out and speak, like Semmelweis, Peter Duesberg, doctors Andrew Wakefield, they get thrown under the bus. But those are the actual real scientists. Those are the people that really care about humans. So just because, there's a theory that's purported and passed around as truth doesn't mean that it is, and there are lots of scientists that don't agree, but they're shunned. And I put some links in the notes. There's a good documentary called The Great Global Warming Swindle that kind of puts all these people in a movie, and they give their point of view. But the thing about the whole climate change thing is that you're not even allowed to debate it. Like, people don't want to have a debate. People don't want to, if you even question it, you're just an ignorant person, right? Even the way that they were talking to me in Spanish class, and the propaganda is so fucking deep that even the Spanish teacher had to chime in and be like, oh, well, los estadísticas dicen, I can't even say anything as statistics say, this. I'm like, so, and I'm sorry, this guy that was in the comment section was like, well, I'm sorry that you don't understand science. I'm sorry that you're a brainwashed sheep and that you think that science is going to just solve everything and that you will think on your own, and you're just waiting for people to tell you what and how to think instead of making conclusions yourself. That's really sad. I mean, you think that you're never going to find a cure for cancer, right? You're never going to find a cure for AIDS. You're gonna, all these cures for diseases that we have that we're just waiting for scientists and doctors to find because they've been working for decades on, but they've never found a cure yet. That press conference where they're like, hey, we found the cure for that. We found the cure for this, blah, 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 blah. It's never gonna come, right? People that are waiting for scientists to save the environment and tell them that, no, that day's never gonna come. It comes from independent thinkers that think outside of the collective, outside of the box. Even people that win Nobel Peace Prizes, they did something because they weren't average worker scientists or worker bees. They did something different, okay? So, I mean, I can't believe you're a grown-ass man or woman and you think that. That's really sad. I hope you get some perspective, and I hope that that you break out of this, because you'd actually be a happier, more intelligent person if you did. Okay. Also, the thing that really pisses me off is if you question global warming, people just think that you're reckless and you don't care about the environment. And even in the class, I was just like, yeah, I think oil spill is a huge issue. And I know there are probably going to be people that are pissed, at me for saying that we are really addicted to oil. It's not good for the environment. I wish we can break our dependence on oil. A huge way of doing that is to invest our energy into hemp and cannabis. It's amazing, right? I mean, people think about oil too. They just think about cars, but excuse me. Sorry. It's also plastics though. So many things, that are, and even the concrete that we drive our cars upon is made of oil. Then all the plastics that we use, those are all oil based, right? All of these synthetic like fibers and things that we use it's all plastic. So much depends on oil. I mean, I think that's bad. I think that all the plastics issue in the environment it's terrible. I think that we cut down too many trees. We're destroying our rainforests. I mean, there are a lot of things that I could agree on. And I think people that, if you question global warming, people think that they kind of mix the two together and they just assume that you're ignorant and you don't care about the environment. And that's really frustrating because it's like this extremist attitude that it's very childlike, right? Like it's like they're grown ass people, but they can't make a distinction between certain things. Like CO2 and pollution are two different things, but they kind of collapse them and say that they are. They think that they are. Like there's a lot of pollution. Yeah, a lot of how we are taking out of the earth, the pollution that we're causing. Yes, it's leading to the extinction of species. It's giving us health problems in our environment as well because we're all connected. The ecosystem is connected. I believe that, but I don't think just for the sheer number of people on this earth, being and living on the earth, is resulting in the climate warming or changing. I think the climate changes. I think that there are other factors that are included there. But people that say that, oh, there are just too many people on the earth. Well, why don't you just fucking kill yourself, right? Why don't you help the cause? I'm so sick of people that want to sit back and act like they're superior and they don't have a hand in all of this too. As long as we're using all of these products, as long as we have cars, as long as you're typing on that fucking computer to insult me, you're part of the problem too. So fucking get over yourself and get with the program, okay? So there's a really cool group that I came across. I don't know if you heard of this group. It's called 4Ocean. That's I can get behind that. They're cleaning up the oceans, and what they do, they basically get all the plastic, or not all the plastic. They have a lot of work to do, but they're working to remove all of the plastic from the ocean. And they have they sell these bracelets. And the bracelets are made of recycled plastic, but the money that they make from the bracelets are used to fund the people to go to help and remove the plastic from the ocean, if that makes sense. Brilliant idea. I can totally get behind that, right? They're doing a lot of really cool stuff with what do you call it? Geothermal energy and Iceland. I can get behind the smaller wind farms. The bigger ones actually do cause cancer. Those are bad. But Millie Weaver from InfoWars did an amazing piece a few years ago, and it was kind of because of the election and stuff, it's kind of I feel like it was overlooked. But I actually got to meet her, and I was talking to her. And she was saying that I was like that, that piece that you did blew my mind. And basically they did an expose of, I think it was somewhere in Colorado, where the wind, they had the large windmills and the windmills, and the force was actually, it was killing animals. It was killing a large amount of birds. And it doesn't even get birds caught up in the windmill. It's whatever force or energy that it's creating, it before the birds even get to it, it causes their organs to inflame and they die. And so the farm animals around there, they were getting cancer and their organs were becoming inflamed. And the people that were around there were a lot of people that testified, and they were talking about, hey, we thought this is a good deal for energy, but it's not. So I was like, well, dang, what do we do? All these other alternative energies seem to have problems as well. And she was like, well, my research was showing that individualized power where everybody has their own, like a smaller version of that. I guess the problem is it's just too big. So if everybody had like their own personalized version, like for each house that they live in, and to generate energy, then that would be a problem. I mean, that would be a solution, right? Which is cool. You know, free energy. We keep hearing about free energy. Nuclear energy is, it can do a lot, right? All the cities we have, everything, but it's bad for the environment, right? 5G is bad, right, for the environment. But the thing that just is really pissing me off about the left, and like I've said on this channel, I wasn't even a leftist, or I mean, guess I was more of a liberal, but what's really just pushed me over is just this attitude of extremism, where you can't even like agree to disagree on certain things. You can't even find common ground, because I think most people would, but they're just so extreme in their belief. They're like, oh, if you don't agree with that, you don't agree with this little point, then there's no use to talking to you. Like somebody else said that in comments. Well, I guess I just can't talk to you, because you don't understand science. You don't believe in science. You don't believe the religion of science. It's sad that, you know, science is supposed to be an objective methodology for, you know, based on observation, cause and effect, trial and error, to understand things. But now it's become this religion where people basically don't even check their sources. They don't compare with other forms of thought, other discoveries and stuff. They just repeat what they hear, you know. And then now because of it, but it's good because a lot of people are starting to question. They see the whole matrix and how everything is very you know, is manipulated to the point now where like National Geographic, was it National Geographic or Scientific American, every year now they have an issue where they have to like, you know, have an issue talking about people that are science deniers, right? To like set the record straight, because, you know, we just can't have people questioning authority. We can't have people thinking for themselves, because, you know, we're the ones that are in power. We're the superiority complex, you know. People act as like science is like this, has become this, or is this wholesome thing, like really, like there's never been people that have been experimented on and killed in the name of science. There have been hundreds of thousands of people killed and experimented on in the name of science, okay? So I mean, I just wish that people that are so dedicated, quote unquote, to this whole idea of science being this benevolent force really need to like sit back. They need to like turn on their brains, and they need to really think about why they think the things that they do, and question the things that they think and that they've been told. Because not all of it's true. Some of it's true, but not all of it's true, and there are flaws in some of it. And you need to understand that theories aren't facts. I mean, you need to understand the difference between that, you know. And it was funny too, the way that they were saying, like, they were talking to me, they're like, no, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. I'm like, fuck you. Like, it took everything in me just to not like get ghetto and just curse them out for their arrogance, for their just like, oh no, you know. And that's kind of the idea. That's, you know, put a chasm in this country where there are different perspectives, and I think most people want the same things, but we can find common ground. But the attitude is just like, oh, well, if these people don't agree with me, they're ignorant and they're horrible, evil people. And we don't even have time to talk to them. They don't even get a spot at the table because they don't think the way we think. Yeah, you know who thought like that? Nazis, that's who. Yes, I invoke Godwin's law again, but it's appropriate. You know, this technocratic dictatorship that is being geared and turned into, you know, this, or what am I trying to say? This whole like train of thought is being turned into, or serving this technocratic dictatorship that the technocratic elite want to uphold. And, you know, even, you know, like I said, this is one of the reasons I quit teaching. I even wrote 4 lesson plans on Teachers Pay Teachers. And I had some motherfuckers I'm sorry. Let me back. Teachers Pay Teachers it's like a website where other teachers can write curriculums, and because sometimes you don't, it's a lot of time to plan a lesson, so you can just buy lessons basically created by other teachers, right? So I wrote 4 because I didn't see any diversity of thought on I did one on cannabis, on the miracles of cannabis. I did one on the GMOs and the food and stuff, and I did 2 on vaccines, one on the debate like the other side, and one on the measles scare. And I left links, and I even have a website where people can click on those links and go, and it's from ages like 13 to 14. Well, lo and behold, some evil ass trolls found out, and they followed me when I first, I went to the website. They followed me back to my website, right off of social media. They found my website because I was talking about it in a group, and they were hiding in the group, and they fucking went off out of social media, found my website, got all their friends to go and downrate me and like terrorize me for like a week, right? And then when I complained to the Teachers Pay Teachers Association, they didn't even back me up. They're like, oh, well, your facts are false. I was like, yeah, did you even read them? No. Oh no, but you're spreading misinformation. I was like, stick this shit up your ass. I was so pissed. Like, and that's how deep the brainwashing goes. And people in education are really brainwashed too. And if one of the things that really opened my eyes about like the origins of this was Charlotte Iserby and John Taylor Gatto. If you ever watch any of their stuff, they talk about, and even Yuri Bezmenov, I think he mentions it a little bit too, where he talks about, or they talk about how they plan to, win the minds of people or brainwash people, and it starts with the education system, and this has been done over generations. So even a company that says that you can, make lesson plans about anything just still doesn't regard what I say or what I write about as, proper info, because it doesn't fit their paradigm, and they're so close-minded that they can't even think outside of the paradigm that they've been brainwashed into. And it's really sad, and it creates slaves. And if you think like that, you're a fucking slave. All right? So eat it up, slave, global warming people. And I probably lost some more subscribers. I don't give a shit. They're gonna cut my channel down anyway, so I'm gonna talk about whatever the fuck, okay? So yeah, that's it. So I guess that's it. I should have been like Hydro Kids again, because I'm cursing a lot in this one. I think I'll put it in the notes. God, what did I talk about? I have a lot to. And by the way, when I've been doing the videos in the car, I can't. There's no option on my phone for me to release comments until I get home. So please comment. But I won't be able to release the comments until I get home. And for the most part, I let all the comments through, unless it's like spam and they're just spamming the same thing, or unless it's like really, mean and threatening. For the most part, even the people that I don't disagree with, I let their comments through. So just give me like a few hours to get to that, and I will. All right, y'all, that's it.